Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about how to find a mentor. Whether you're just out of university or you just graduated from a coding bootcamp, you will need all the help you can get to become the best developer you can be. This is where mentors come in. And this is going to be our topic for the discussion today. My name is Tanaka Mutakwa, and I work as the VP of Engineering at Names and Faces. At Names and Faces, we make simple, fast, visual employee directories for companies that allow these companies' people to know who's who at their organizations and where they fit in easily. I also regularly blog at the new developer on substack.com. Your first job as a software developer can be very challenging. There's so much to learn about coding and building a career in the technology industry. Doing it by yourself can be overwhelming. When I started my first job, one of the senior developers at the company I worked at offered to help me learn and grow into a good software developer. He was a more experienced guide who had overcome the same problems I was facing and provided an inspiring example for me to follow. If I needed any useful tips on coding, I went to him. If I needed any advice on navigating a career in the technology industry, I went to him. That senior engineer became my mentor, and without him, my software engineering career would have been very difficult at the start. Most people have to find a mentor by themselves. Most people, however, don't know how to find a mentor. What should you do? Where should you start? Before we talk about how to find a mentor, let's start by understanding what mentorship is and what role it plays in your career. Mentoring is relationship-oriented and occurs when a person who has years of experience in a field provides guidance on career progression to an individual with less experience. The needs of the mentee are important in this relationship, and the mentor helps whenever possible in this development-driven relationship. It is a long-term relationship as opposed to on-the-spot advice. And there are many benefits to having a mentor, such as boosting your confidence, helping you get control of your career, and teaching you important life lessons. Before you search for a mentor, it is important to ask yourself what you want from a mentor. Identify clearly what you think are the reasons you need a mentor. Write them down as a list. This list will be useful in your early conversations with potential mentors. Setting short-term and long-term career goals for yourself will also be useful. It will help give your mentor an idea of the direction you want your career to go. As an example, here are some of the things that were on my list in my early days of my career. Some of my short-term goals were to learn how to write clean code, to learn how to write good automated tests, to learn how to take good ownership of solutions from my machine to production, to learn how to develop a deeper understanding of the programming languages and frameworks that my company used. And some of my long-term goals were to be able to input and drive architectural decisions, to learn about technology leadership, and to slowly build a profile external to the company I worked for by starting a blog and speaking at conferences. When you set these goals, don't leave things open-ended. As you will learn later in this talk, you will be responsible for driving the relationship between you and your mentor. They are there as a guide to support you and your career. So where do you find mentors? When you start your search for a mentor, look for someone who has been where you want to go. Try identify people who are good at teaching and are always keen to share their knowledge. The first place to look for a mentor is within the circle of people you already know. It is much easier to find a mentor among people you already know than from total strangers. These are the places I would recommend you try and identify your potential mentor. Your current company, meetup communities, conferences, and coding workshops, the open source community, contacts of friends, online mentorship platforms. Let's dive into each one of those. So your current company is usually the most ideal place to look for a mentor. There are likely to be some experienced software developers already working there. They already know you, have visibility into your work, and will be easier to access when you need help. I highly recommend looking for a mentor within your current company if the situation allows. With meetup communities, conferences, and coding workshops, they usually have people who are keen to share their knowledge, especially people who are speakers at the events or facilitators of the workshops. You should identify groups that align with your goals, join them, attend their sessions frequently, and establish good relationships with the members. Eventually, you will be able to identify potential mentors you could approach. Getting involved in an open source project can also help you in the search for a mentor. Identify an open source project that you're passionate about and start making contributions to move the project forward. Your contributions to an open source project do not have to be complicated coding solutions. Most people start at the basics, perhaps contributing to the documentation of the project. Once you're part of the open source project, you will start interacting with other contributors of the project or the project maintainers. Eventually, you'll be able to identify potential mentors you could approach amongst this group. If you cannot identify anyone who could be your potential mentor, your next best approach is to ask your friends if they know any software developer who would be a good mentor for you. Your friends are likely to have contacts that work at their companies that they may be able to connect you with. It may be someone you don't know, but your friends can help with the introductions. There are also now some online mentorship platforms that exist. This is also another way in which you can find a mentor. Some of these platforms are paid platforms, some of them are free. Examples such as Code Mentor, Coding Coach, and Mentor Crews exist. A quick online search for software developer mentorship will give you many of these platforms, and you can choose one that suits you. Once you have identified your potential mentor, you must ask them to set up a formal mentor-mentee relationship. It is important to first build a relationship with the potential mentor. It will become easier to ask that way. Take it slow. Some trust building may be required before you start. To build a relationship with a potential mentor, offer to take them out for coffee or find a great time to get on a call with them. Make it as easy as possible for them to connect with you, build some rapport, and find something you have in common. Once you've built up a relationship with your potential mentor, you should ask them to formally become your mentor. When you ask, you can say something along these lines. Hello, you're someone I look up to. I'm new in this software development journey. I've enjoyed the discussions we've had in the past and felt your opinions are always really insightful. I would highly appreciate it if you could help me in my software development journey. Can I set up some time to talk about areas I'd like to grow in and how you could potentially help as a mentor? If the response from the potential mentor is positive and they're happy to chat, then you can try it out with 1 or 2 meetings and see if both of you would want to continue. If the response from the potential mentor is negative and they're unavailable, don't give up. You might not succeed on the first try, and that is completely understandable. People are busy. Just keep going, repeat the process, and find another potential mentor. Once you have a mentor, what do you do next? You must interact with them on a regular basis. You can discuss and agree on the time commitment with your mentor. As a mentee, you have to own and drive the scheduling of meetings. Set defined goals to work with your mentor. These are great motivators for constant improvements. Do the work, follow up, and commit to it. Give feedback on the advice you receive from your mentor. Always come to your mentorship meetings with questions. Part of being a mentee is being energetic and clear about what you're seeking to understand. Once someone agrees to be your mentor, here are some things that they can do for you. They can set some time aside to respond when you have questions. They can do some code reviews of your code. They can pair program with you. They can send you resources, books, courses, podcasts that align with your goals. A mentor can be an incredible resource when it comes to finding the best courses, books, sites, and projects. Instead of having to figure out everything from scratch, you're getting a competitive advantage by getting the landscape of resources laid out to you. They can also be an accountability buddy for your goals, help you plan your career, help you to go deeper in the discussion of technologies, languages, frameworks, basic concepts, and so on. And finally, they can help you stay focused in the complex world of software. Always be cognizant of your mentor's time and be prepared. Be as prepared as you can for your meetings. Always be on time for your scheduled meetings with your mentor. Offer to pay for coffee if you can, and do anything else you can to say you appreciate their time. Over time, you want to review if the relationship with your mentor is still working, to constantly check if it's still providing value for the both of you. So I've been mentored, been a mentor, and I've observed many software developers around me grow through mentorship. Having a more formal mentoring relationship can help you grow faster and in a more focused way. And whether you're just out of university or just graduated from a coding bootcamp or self-taught, you need all the help you can get to become the best software developer you can be. Many people out there want to help you and share their knowledge. All you need to do is ask. And that's it for this talk on how to find a mentor. If you have any questions about how to find a mentor or anything else I've covered today, feel free to leave a comment on my CodeLand post on the Code Newbie community. You can follow me on the Code Newbie community at Tanaka Mutakwa or on Twitter at General Mutakwa. And you can also find my newsletter on Substack at The New Developer. I look forward to hearing from you all, and I hope you have a great time at CodeLand. Thank you. My name is Tanaka Mutakwa, and I work as the VP of Engineering at Names and Faces.